Hello friends, welcome to Affairs Cloud Learn to Lead. This is Ashu and today we will discuss very important current affairs of 5th of November 2020. You can see two best images of the day, but we will discuss 6 to 7 best current affairs of the day of the 5th of November 2020. But before proceeding, I want to discuss one or two things with you guys. That is our Affairs Cloud subscription. You can buy or you can subscribe our Affairs Cloud subscription by two methods. You can visit our website, that is Affairs Cloud /current affair, or you can directly go to the description box. There is a link of the subscription. You can directly visit the subscription area. Now what you will get in the subscription, you will get the daily current affairs in the PDF form. You will get the weekly PDFs arranged in the week-wise order. You will get the weekly test. It is very important to evaluate yourself. You will get the monthly PDF. In the monthly PDF section, you will get the 5 PDFs. One is related to the monthly current affairs. That is simple. And second is the question and answer PDF. It means all the current affairs will be converted into the question and answer format so that you can retain and revise the current affair quickly. Third is the pocket PDF. As the name suggests, it is very good for revising the current affairs before your exams. And fourth one is the banking, finance and the economy PDF. This is very useful for the banking aspirants. And last but not the least, that is the question and answer PDF top 100 questions. It means top 100 question of the month will be provided in the PDF form. All this package comes at very minimal cost, guys. If you see the price, you will surprise. And on that minimal cost, we are providing the 10% extra discount. If you use this code #10, then you will get the 10% extra discount on that minimum price. So let's start today's current affair, that is of the 5th of November. And here is our first question. Indian Railway has tied up with which institute to improve its operational efficiency using digital tools? It means they want to use the new arena, or you simply can say that they want to use the artificial intelligence technology or the data analytics. So this is very important, and this tie-up goes with the Indian School of Business, Hyderabad. Remember, ISB stands for the Indian School of Business, Hyderabad. Basically, under this pact, Indian Railway will provide passenger related data, train operations related data, freight data, and the assets related data to the Indian School of Business for the analysis. After analysis, it will be used for the Indian Railways in the passenger reservation system, introduction of new trains, any predictive and the asset maintenance. So this is very useful for the Indian Railways because they want to basically digitalize their Indian railway system, or you can say they are using the new technologies for their passenger reservation system or to improve the railway system. So very important, guys. Remember, Indian School of Business. Now, most important news I want to discuss, that I already discussed so many times, that chairman of the Indian Railway Board, that is very important. He is also the CEO. Remember, CEO. This is the first time that any CEO is appointed in the Indian Railway Board. That is, guys, who is that person? That is Vinod Kumar Yadav. Remember, VK Yadav or the Vinod Kumar Yadav is appointed as the CEO of the Indian Railway. I basically covered this question so many times, guys. And headquarter of Indian Railways, all do you know, that is the New Delhi. So remember. And one more important thing, that Indian Railway is planning to set up a center for excellence for this artificial intelligence and data analytics. So this is again important. So this is time, it is the Indian School of Business. So many things in one question, guys. And Indian School of Business and the Indian Railways banks on artificial intelligence and data analytics to improve operational efficiency. So simple news and simple 2 or 3 words you have to remember. Indian School of Business, Indian Railway, why they are collaborated for the artificial intelligence or the data analytics. Simple. Move to next question. Which country hosted 8th meeting of the India UAE high-level joint task force on investment? It means India and the UAE both wants to improve their investment sector. And due to COVID-19, so much slowdown is going on. So they want to just improve the investment so that the maximum to maximum growth can be achieved. Both countries agreed to further explore ways to facilitate investment in key sectors of India and the UAE in order to strengthen the economic ties between the two countries. So very simple news. Just remember, India and the UAE. And it happened in this time in India, guys. This happened in India. And guys, India is basically collaborating with so many countries so that they can boost the relations with that country, or also want to boost the investment so that this COVID-19 slowdown can be tackled down. And recently India in the September, that India and Angola joint commission held, and in the August India and Vietnam joint commission held. It is again for the trade, economic and the technological cooperation. So again India is basically collaborating with so many countries. And what about UAE, guys? UAE's capital is the Abu Dhabi and currency is the UAE dirham or the dirham. And the ministry who basically Look out this joint level committee, Piyush Goyal. It means from Indian side, it is co-chaired by the Piyush Goyal ji, and from UAE side, it is chaired by the His Highness, that is the Sheikh Ahmed bin Zayed Al Nahyan. So remember this. So you can see here that high level task force on investment that is between India and UAE. Not so much important, but remember about the UAE. Move to next question. India provides 1 billion tranche to which country for housing reconstruction project? And this 1 billion is not in rupee or the dollar, guys. This is in the form of NPE, that is the Nepalese rupees and Nepalese currency, and that is the Nepal. Yesterday I covered the question that India built a basically senior secondary school in the Nepal, because I already told or already covered this news that India is reconstructing the housing project and the educational sector projects in Nepal. So remember, India is reconstructing the housing project also in the Nepal, even with the education sector. So remember, it is Nepal. And all you know that Prime Minister of Nepal is KP Sharma Oli, and the capital is the Kathmandu. President is the Vidyadevi Pandari ji. Currency is the Nepalese rupees. So remember NPR, and this 1 billion tranche is in the tranche in the form of the NPR. You can see in the picture that India hands over NPR 1 billion tranche of a Nepal housing reconstruction project. Because of the earthquake, so many houses that is the destructed. That's why they want to reconstruct all the houses. Move to next question. Who launched RuPay Festive Carnival, a flagship campaign for the RuPay users? Again, mark under the important section. Who launched RuPay Festive Carnival, a flagship campaign only for the RuPay users? It means who are holding the RuPay cards. And this time it is not SBI, it is not RBI, it is not Amazon, it is National Payment Corporation of India. National Payment Corporation of India launched this RuPay Festive Carnival, a compelling benefits and attractive discounts on products of various categories. It means it is just to encourage safe, contactless and the cashless payment, and offer a new way to enhance the user's overall shopping experience. It means when you buy a product, then you will get attractive offers from categories like health, fitness, education, e-commerce sites, dining and the food delivery, among others. They can also leverage more than 600 offers while shopping with brands of all kinds, and you will get the discount of 10 to 65% in the top brands. And this is basically by the NPCI, National Payment Corporation of India. Guys, remember NPCI, this is not Amazon, it is not a like Diwali Bonanza, it is just RuPay Festival Carnival, and it is launched by NPCI. And what about NPCI? NPCI MD and CEO is the Dilip Asbe. I think all you know Dilip Asbe, very important person, very important personality, Dilip Asbe, and head office is in Mumbai, Maharashtra. So remember these two things about the NPCI. You can see here NPCI launched RuPay Festive Carnival. Move to next question. The Asian Development Bank approved a USD 132.8 million loan to modernize power distribution network in which state? Guys, important because it mark under the state question, because they are basically improving the distribution network, that is the power distribution network of that state. And the answer of this question is the Meghalaya, guys. This time the state in the northern eastern, that is the Meghalaya state. And it is just to improve power quality and upgrade the power distribution network in the Meghalaya. Recently, 2 million grant from the Japan also provided to the Meghalaya for the this power distribution network under the Asian Development Bank. Now, most important 2 or 3 words you can remember the news by these words. One is the power distribution network, one is the name of the state, and one is the name of the organization. By these 3 words, you can remember the question. And what about Asian Development Bank, guys? Asian Development Bank basically established in 1966. Headquarters in Philippines, that is the Manila, Philippines. And president is the Mastasugu. And member countries are 68 member countries, including India. India is also a member of the Asian Development Bank. So remember, 68 countries are the currently member. You can see in the picture that Asian Development Bank, ADB, approves some loan to the Meghalaya state for the power distribution network, or to improve the power efficiency in the state. So remember 3-4 words in the news, and you can remember the news. Move to next question. AU Small Finance Bank signs agreement with which insurance company for health insurance product? That is very simple. I already told you that if any bank is signing a agreement with any insurance company, or any insurance company signing a any pact with the bank, then it means they want to sell their products in the bank. It means they want to sell their insurance product in the banks, or bank want to sell their products in the insurance sector. So it is very simple. And this time it is the Care Health Insurance Company Limited. Remember, it is the AU Small Finance Bank and the insurance company is the Care Health Insurance Company. What about AU Small Finance Bank? Head office is in Jaipur, Rajasthan, and MD and CEO is the Sanjay Agarwal. Sanjay Agarwal. Remember, AU Small Finance Bank, MD and CEO is the Sanjay Agarwal. And it was also, you can say, founded in 1996 and converted into Small Finance Bank, I think, in 2017. Remember this also, that's 2017. 1996 AU Small Finance Bank is basically started but converted into Small Finance Bank in 2017. And now moving to Care Health Insurance Company Limited. This is again important. Its headquarters is in Gurgaon, Haryana, and director and CEO is the Anuj Gulhati. But no need to remember the MD or CEO of the Care Health Insurance. Just remember the AU Small Finance. That is the Sanjay Agarwal. And what is the tagline of the AU Small Finance Bank? That is important, guys. Chalo aage badhe. Chalo aage badhe. Let's go ahead, or let's go forward, you can say that. AU Small Finance Bank, and it is very important. You can see here AU Small Finance Bank logo and Care Health Insurance Company. They tied up for their, you can say, the healthcare insurance products can be sold and under the AU Small Finance Bank branches. Now moving to next question. Visa in partnership with Digit Secure and which bank deployed the world's first live PCI certified tap to phone card acceptance solution? It means it is just to tackle the COVID-19 problem, and it is the world first. This is more important keyword. So remember, world first live PCI. Now what is the meaning of PCI? It is the payment card industry. It means it is basically payment card industry data security standards. This is known as the PCI standards. And it is very mandatory. It is, you can say, the very mandatory to start any online based of payment system. And this time it is the HDFC, guys. HDFC and Visa and the Digit Secure. There are three companies. It means HDFC, one is the bank, second is the Visa, who is providing this phone tap card, and third is basically the Digit Secure. These are the three companies who basically started this world first live PCI certified tap to phone card. This is the main keyword, tap to phone card acceptance solution. Now what is this? It means if you don't have any POS machine, not any machine in the shop or not any machine in the home, then you can use this app and the payment can be done within seconds. It means to accept safe contactless card payments in seconds through an app on their Android based system, then without the need of any dedicated card acceptance machine. This can be used for the contactless delivery. I already told you it is due to the COVID-19 that many contactless systems started for the payment system. So this time it is the HDFC. You can remember this is the Visa, HDFC and the DigiSecure started tap to phone card acceptance solution. It means on the app you can basically transact your value. So it is very important. Remember this. And what about HDFC, guys? Recently appointed MD and CEO, that is the Shashidhar Jagdishan, and it was basically previously was Aditya Puri, but now it is the Shashidhar Jagdishan. And tagline, we understand your world. And when HDFC was established in 1994, guys, and headquarters in Mumbai. I am repeating again all the things. Headquarters in Mumbai, established in 1994. Who is the MD and CEO? That is the Shashidhar Jagdishan, and he succeeds Aditya Puri. Remember. Move to next question. Which Indian elected in the board of International Dairy Federation? Again, mark under the important question. And this time it is the International Dairy Federation, and an Indian is elected under this board of the International Dairy Federation. And this person who is elected in the board of the International Dairy Federation is currently the chairman of the National Dairy Development Board of India. National Dairy Development Board of India. And the person is the, yes guys, the person is the Dilip Rath. Remember, Dilip Rath is currently elected in the board of International Dairy Federation. And he's the second Indian to become part of this International Dairy Federation, because earlier Dr. Amrita Patel also former chairman of the National Dairy Development Board, was the first Indian and the first woman to be elected in the board in December 2010. But now it is 2020. It means almost after 10 years, one Indian is again elected. It means only 2 Indians till date is elected as a member of the board of International Dairy Federation. And guys, this organization is very important at the international level, you can say, because it is the one and only organization who is basically calculating, or you can say procuring the dairy federation units all over world. And you have to remember, India ranks first among the world milk producing nation, and also the largest bovine pollution in the world. That is the milk animals pollution, population in the world. Remember this. And where is the headquarter of this International Dairy Federation? Where is the headquarter of EU, guys? European Union. That is in the Brussels, Belgium. And International Dairy Federation headquarter is also in the Brussels, Belgium. Why I told you about EU? So that you can remember the two organizations simultaneously. The European Union headquarter also in Brussels, Belgium, and International Dairy Federation also in Brussels, Belgium. And what about, guys, this National Dairy Development Board? Very important for the, you can say that, white revolution. And the place where white revolution started, that place is the head office of the this national dairy board of development board. And the area is the Anand, guys. Anand in Gujarat. And I already told you, chairman is the Dilip Rath. Remember, so many things I told you. Dilip Rath elected to the International Dairy Federation board. Headquarter is in the Brussels, Belgium, and he is currently the National Dairy Development Board chairman. Move to next question. Who was the author of the book titled The Age of Pandemic? It is not the COVID-19 pandemic. It is the pandemic between 1917 to 1920, 1817 to 1920, almost 100 years. How they shaped India and the world. It means how we tackled this pandemic, and what are the changes occurred during this pandemic in the India and all over world level. So you have to tell me who wrote this book. This is again important due to this COVID-19 pandemic, and this is basically published by very renowned company, that is the HarperCollins. So again, this is important book. That's why I covered this question, and this time it is the Chinmay Tumbe. Remember, if I am wrong, sorry for my pronunciation, but I think the name is clear. That is the Chinmay Tumbe or the Tumbe. Remember this. So this book basically records the various aspects of the cholera, plague, influenza, pandemics that claimed million of lives between 1817 to 1920, because so many people died due to this cholera, plague and the influenza between these years. And it also covers the 1918 influenza pandemic in India, which claimed more lives than the casualties of World War I. This is again important. That is the 1918 influenza in India. So it claimed so many lives, even more than the World War I. So remember, this book is written by the Chinmay Tumbe. You can see the cover page of the book. That is The Age of the Pandemic, 1970, and it is by the Chinmay. So remember only the name, that is the Chinmay. Move to next question. Which state government had decided to set up 400 electric vehicle charging station across the state? This is again very important to basically cover the goals of the Sustainable Development Goals of 2015 to 2030. So we have to achieve the global scenario or the global targets of the Sustainable Development Goals, and we have to produce the clean energy. We are basically covering the electric vehicle charging station. It means we are on the verge to convert all the vehicles as a electric vehicles. So it is Go Electric campaign by the state of, yes guys, which state? It is this time, it is the Andhra Pradesh, guys. Andhra government has decided to set up 400 electric vehicle charging station across the state to promote the uses of electric vehicles, so that maximum to maximum people can buy the electric vehicles, and maximum to maximum Go Electric campaign can be, you can say, can be enhanced. And the Bureau of Energy Efficiency, that is the BEE, launched Go Electric campaign in the Andhra Pradesh for that purpose. So remember, and Andhra Pradesh, guys, state is very important because there is a you can say Nagarjuna Sagar Dam in Andhra Pradesh. Nagarjuna Sagar National Park is also there. You can say there is a Visakhapatnam port, that is the one of the oldest port of India. Krishnapatnam port is also there. So very important state, Andhra Pradesh. Remember this, Andhra Pradesh. You can see in the picture Go Electric campaign, and they are just establishing the electric vehicle charging stations. Now move to next question, and it is from picture that John Magufuli, or if my pronunciation is wrong, guys, always forgive me about this. John Magufuli wins second term in the Tanzania presidential elections. He won 84%. He won 84% of the turnout vote. Very important. Currently, USA voting system is also going on. We will cover in the recent days about the USA system, but this time it is the 84% of the turnout vote. Remember, and the swearing ceremony will be on the 5th of November 2020. That is important. And John Magufuli was elected as the president in 2015. That is the first time of the Magufuli, and now it is the second time he is elected. And what about Tanzania, guys? The capital is Dodoma, Dodoma. That is the Dodoma or Dodoma. I think the name is the Dodoma. And the currency is Tanzanian shilling. Tanzanian shilling. Remember, the capital of Tanzania is the Dodoma, and the currency is the Tanzanian shilling. Remember this. And next, again, very important, yesterday we covered about the Shane Watson. He also announced his retirement from all forms of the cricket. Now it is the West Indian cricketer, that is the Marlon Samuels. Very important and very big name for the West Indian crickets. That is the Marlon Samuels retires from all forms of cricket, guys. Remember, very key player of the West Indies. And Shane Watson also very key player of the Australia, guys. And he retired. That is very big news. Now move to next question, and it is just important points to remember, not so much important, but you can remember one or 2 points from that. One is the Union Minister for Earth Science, Harshvardhan ji, released the report estimating the economic benefits of investment in National Monsoon Mission and high performance computing facilities. Now the main keyword here is the National Monsoon Mission. What is this? This was basically launched in 2012 by the Congress government. The main aim was to develop a dynamic monsoon prediction system for short, medium and the long range forecast. It means it is just to forecast the monsoon so that we can tackle the problems or related to the flood problem according to the National Monsoon Mission. So this is basically launched by the Union Minister of Earth Science, that is the Harshvardhan. So remember, Union Minister of Earth Science is the Harshvardhan. These two things are important in the question. Next is the TriFed signed MOU with JD Center of Arts to preserve tribal craft tradition through collaboration. This news is again important. The two words are important in this news. One is the TriFed, guys. This is important. TriFed basically meaning that is the Tribal Cooperative Market Development Federation of India signed a memorandum with the JD Center of Arts for collaboration on joint socio-culture research work and anthropological study of tribal art and the tradition in the tribal dominated regions in India. It means, in simple words, you can say the collaboration is aimed to preserve the arts, crafts and traditions of the tribal community. Simple. So remember this. And what about this TriFed? TriFed established in 1987, and it is a department of the government, and MD is the Praveer Krishna. No need to remember all the things about this TriFed. Just remember the tie-up with the JD Center of Arts to preserve the arts, craft and tradition of the tribal communities. So this is important in this news. Next is India and Gulf Cooperation Council, Troika, held their annual political dialogue. No need to remember their annual dialogue. Just remember this Gulf Cooperation Council. This organization basically established in 1981 and headquarters is in, guys, Riyadh. Headquarters is in Riyadh, that is in Saudi Arabia. And you have to remember there are just six countries who tied up for this Gulf Cooperation Council. And these are the political and the economic alliance in the Arabian Peninsula. So remember, these six countries in the Arabian Peninsula is Bahrain, Kuwait. I am writing here, that is Bahrain, Kuwait. Next, you can write with the Q or the K, Kuwait. And Oman, Qatar, Saudi Arabia and UAE. I think the six are completed. Six are completed. Yes, Bahrain, Kuwait. Next is Oman, Qatar, Saudi Arabia and the UAE, United Arab Emirates. These are the six countries basically in the Arab Peninsula are the members of this Gulf Cooperation Council. So very simple question can be asked that where is the headquarters of Gulf Cooperation Council? That headquarters is in the Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. And you have to remember one more thing, that how many countries are member, and only Arab Peninsula countries are member, that are the six countries, guys. So remember these names if you want, but I don't think this question is so much important, but remember this Gulf Cooperation Council. And first committee of UNGA under the chairmanship of HE, Mr. Agustin Santos Maravar adopts two India-sponsored nuclear disarmament resolution. No need to remember this big news, but just remember first committee of United Nations General Assembly on the disarmament, and this committee is led by the Mr. Augustin Santos. Just remember Mr. August Santos, or how you will remember, the name is the August. So remember by the name of the August, that in August, United Nations General Assembly first committee is formed for the nuclear disarmament resolution. So it is formed basically in October, but remember in the August. Next, Indian Coast Guard ship C452, designed and built by L&T, commissioned at Ratnagiri, Maharashtra. No need to remember, just remember the name C452. Remember 452. That is the Indian Coast Guard ship, and it is built, maximum Coast Guard ships are built by the Lawrence and Turbo. Remember L&T. So guys, the time period for the English current affairs is 11 a.m. We are basically doing best things to deliver the current affairs on 11 o'clock, but due to some issues related to the network problem and the uploading on the YouTube, that is takes time. That's why we are basically focusing on the 11 a.m. So in the 2 or 3 days, you will get the current affair at exact 11 a.m. But we are late, I know, but you will get the 11 a.m. Definitely after this week. And Hindi current affairs, you will get the 6 p.m. and 15 or 20 minutes can be earlier or the after that, but you will get the 6 p.m. by default. So this is all for today, and guys, if you like this video, please subscribe our channel, and guys, provide 300 likes so that we can make more content on the more fields like polity, history, economics, geography, so that we can make videos on that content also. And it is Affairs Cloud promise that it will boost your confidence on the general awareness section. And guys, subscribe our PDFs, and the link of the subscription is given in the in this video, below this video even you can say. And Affairs Cloud will definitely boost your current affairs section, and your current affairs section, the out of 50 to 60 questions, if they are coming in your exam, then your 80% question will get right if you are following the Affairs Cloud current affair. Thank you guys for watching this video.